Good morning students. We have already finished digestion in mouth and stomach in our previous video. Now we shall study about digestion in duodenum. Students, do you remember that the food after digestion in stomach is called as chyme? This chyme is like a liquid. Why it is like a liquid? Because of the action of two juices by then. First it was acted upon by saliva in mouth and then it is acted upon by gastric juice in stomach. Because of these two juices, it is in the form of a liquid now. This liquid chyme, it is acidic too. Why it is acidic? Because stomach has HCl. So chyme is acidic and liquid like. This acidic chyme now enters into the next region, that is duodenum. Duodenum is the first part of small intestine, right? So this is the third site of digestion. Now for digestion what is required? Juices are required, right? So where from those juices come? This duodenum receives juices, digestive juices from liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. Where are intestinal glands? Intestinal glands are in the walls of the duodenum itself. Got it? So duodenum receives juices from three regions: liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. Got it? So we shall now study about each juice and its action now. Okay, first let us take up liver. Liver is the largest gland. You know, right? Then it is present right to the stomach. See, it is right to the stomach. Then it secretes its juice called as bile juice. So what is the digestive juice released by liver? That is bile juice. See here, this bile juice coming into duodenum. Now what is the composition of this bile juice? Bile juice contains two components, bile salts and bile pigments. Got it? So let us see the action of bile juice or bile salts and bile pigments. So bile salts, the role is they provide basic pH for the action of pancreatic juice. So the pancreatic juice to act on food, it requires basic pH, but the food coming from stomach is acidic. So these bile salts help in changing the pH. They change the pH to basic, that is more than 7. So now pancreatic juice can do its action. That is one role. Next, bile salts help in emulsification of fats. What is emulsification? Emulsification is the process of conversion of big fats into small fat droplets. Remember children, this is not a chemical change, but big fats are cut into small fats. So the process of conversion of fats into small fat droplets is called as emulsification. That work is done by bile salts. Got it children? So bile salts provide basic pH for the action of pancreatic juice and they help in emulsification of fats. So far we have seen only digestion of carbs, that is 30% of carbohydrates are digested in mouth and some amount of proteins are digested in stomach. Fats are not touched. For the first time, bile salts act on fats and convert them into small droplets. That happens in duodenum under the action of bile salts. Next, the other components are bile pigments. Does they have any role in digestion? No, they are pigments. Pigments means colored substances. So there are three pigments: bilirubin, biliverdin, urochrome. All these pigments are yellow in color. So our bile juice is yellow in color. Got it? Now what is the role of these pigments? They don't have any role in digestion, but their role is they impart or they give color to urine and feces. Our urine is yellow in color because of urochrome, and bilirubin, biliverdin, they give coloration to feces. Feces means stools, motion. Got it? So what is the color of our feces? Feces is light yellow. That is due to the presence of bilirubin and biliverdin. Actually, students, these are toxic, so they have to be eliminated from the body. They get eliminated through urine and feces. So if they get accumulated in our blood, what happens is we get a condition called jaundice. So in jaundice, we find people getting yellow coloration of the body, eyes, etc. So that is due to the accumulation of these pigments in blood. Got it? So this is the role of bile pigments. So finally, we have finished the role of bile juice. Bile juice lo two components untayi, bile salts, bile pigments. Bile salts basic pH ni provide chestayi. Pancreatic juice act avvalante basic pH kavali. So bile salts a basic pH ni provide chestayi. అంతే కాకుండా అవి ఎమల్సిఫికేషన్ లో ఉపయోగపడతాయి. ఎమల్సిఫికేషన్ అంటే పెద్ద పెద్ద ఫ్యాట్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ స్మాల్ ఫ్యాట్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ గా కన్వర్ట్ అవ్వడమే ఎమల్సిఫికేషన్. అది బైల్ సాల్ట్స్ చూసుకుంటాయి. నెక్స్ట్ బైల్ పిగ్మెంట్స్ అంటే కలర్డ్ సబ్స్టెన్సెస్. అవి 3 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ పిగ్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, బిలిరుబిన్ అండ్ బిలివర్డిన్, యూరోక్రోమ్. బిలివర్డిన్ అనేవి మనం ఫీసెస్ కి ఎల్లో కలరేషన్ ఇస్తాయి. యూరోక్రోమ్ యూరిన్ కి ఎల్లో కలరేషన్ ఇస్తాయి. ఇవి బాడీలో నుంచి బయటికి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి, బికాస్ దే ఆర్ టాక్సిక్. వెళ్ళిపోకుండా అవి మన బాడీలో అక్యూములేట్ అయిపోతే, బ్లడ్ లో అక్యూములేట్ అయిపోతే ఆ కండిషన్ నే ఏమంటారంటే జాండీస్. అప్పుడు మన కళ్ళు ఎల్లోగా ఉండడము, బాడీ స్కిన్ కూడా ఎల్లో కలర్ లోకి రావడము మనకి అబ్జర్వబుల్ సిమ్టమ్స్ అన్నమాట. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ ఈస్ ది యాక్షన్ ఆఫ్ bile juice. Now our next juice is pancreatic juice. So this juice contains 3 enzymes: pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase and trypsinogen. Remember children, trypsinogen means inactive enzyme. So it has to be activated by some other substance, right? Let us see the role of these enzymes now. Pancreatic amylase, that is P amylase, pancreatic amylase. This acts on carbohydrates and converts them into maltose. Students, remember 30% of carbohydrates were already digested in mouth, and the remaining carbohydrates are acted upon by pancreatic amylase and they are converted into maltose. Carbohydrates are polymers and polymers of glucose, and maltose is dimer of glucose. Yes. Next, pancreatic lipase. It acts on fats and convert them into fatty acids and glycerol. Remember students, fats are digested for the first time in duodenum. They are not digested in mouth, they are not in stomach, not by the action of bile juice. They are just cut into small bits, but actual digestion is getting started due to the action of pancreatic lipase. So it acts on fats and convert them into fatty acids and glycerol. Now what is the role of third enzyme? This is inactive enzyme. It has to be activated first. Who will activate? Enterokinase. There is another enzyme called enterokinase, and this enzyme is from intestinal juice. Intestinal juice వస్తుందని చెప్పాను కదా ఇక్కడ. So third juice. This juice has an enzyme called enterokinase that activates trypsinogen of pancreatic juice. So trypsinogen is activated into trypsin with the help of enterokinase. Now this trypsin acts on proteins and convert them into peptones. Students, some of the proteins are already digested in stomach. The remaining get digested by the action of trypsin into peptones. And you all know that proteins are polymers of amino acids. Peptones are short chain polymers of amino acids. So this is the action of pancreatic juice. Now let us go into the intestinal juice. So this is the last juice students, and this juice gives finishing touch for the digestion. This juice contains 4 enzymes: enterokinase, maltase, peptidase, intestinal lipase. Remember children, always enzymes will have the suffix ase: enterokinase, maltase, peptidase, lipase. So these are the 4 enzymes in intestinal juice. Let us see the action now. Enterokinase is already covered under which juice? This one, pancreatic juice. So enterokinase activates trypsinogen to trypsin. Next, maltase. Maltase converts maltose into glucose. So now remember children, all carbohydrates are in the form of glucose dimers, that is maltose kada, dimers laga unnai ippudu. So by the action of maltase enzyme, those dimers are converted into single units glucose. Single glucoses ka convert అయిపోతాయి. So that is the role of maltase. So maltase gives the finishing touch for carbohydrate digestion. Next, peptidase. Peptidase acts on peptones and convert them into amino acids. Peptidase peptones మీద యాక్ట్ అయ్యి అమైనో యాసిడ్స్ గా కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తుంది. Peptones ante we know they are short chain amino acids. అవి ఒక్కొక్క అమినో యాసిడ్ గా కన్వర్ట్ అయిపోతాయి. సో peptidase gives finishing touch for protein digestion. Next, intestinal lipase. It acts on the remained fats. Fats are already digested by pancreatic lipase, but there are some fats left over. Those fats are acted upon by intestinal lipase and are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So carbs are converted into glucose, proteins into amino acids, fats into fatty acids and glycerol. This finishes digestion process. Now one more concept students, this is important. The food after digestion in mouth is called bolus. Then that after digestion in stomach is called chyme. Similarly, there is another term for the food digested in duodenum, that is chyle. This chyle is very fluidous when compared to these two because it was already acted upon by 5 juices. What are they? Saliva in stomach, that is gastric juice. Then in duodenum it has mixed up with 3 juices. What are they? Bile juice, pancreatic juice and intestinal juice. So it is very fluidous. Remember these terms students: bolus, chyme and chyle. Got it? So next step in holozoic nutrition is what? Absorption. So what is absorption? Absorption is entry of nutrients into blood, right? Now where is the food? Where is the chyle? Chyle is in duodenum. This chyle enters into next region called jejunum. So this yellow region, yellow pipe region is jejunum, followed by ileum, and in these 2 regions absorption takes place. Now how exactly this absorption takes place? Students, consider this as a small bit of jejunum or ileum. So this is the inner layer of jejunum or ileum. This inner layer or inner lining is not smooth. It is thrown into finger-like projections. See here, finger-like projections. So inside it has in finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections are called as villi. These villi, inside them they have blood vessels. See here the blood vessels. These blood vessels, when the food is flowing through these villi, the nutrients are absorbed into blood. This is what is called as absorption process. Now if these villi are not there inside the ileum or jejunum, the food will go faster. It will go faster to next region. Because of this finger-like projections, food goes slowly so that nutrients are absorbed into blood effectively. That is one role of villi. Now next, another role of villi is these villi increase the surface area for absorption. For instance, see, if there are no villi, the surface area for absorption available is only this much. But now they have finger-like projections. Because of that, they will take a long path. See, they go this way, this way, this way. So the area of absorption got increased. Area of absorption got increased. That is what is the second role of villi. So see this flow chart. Passage of food into jejunum and ileum. Then in the ileum or jejunum, the inner lining of mucosa has finger-like projections. They increase the surface area of absorption and the process of absorption takes place effectively. This is what is absorption. Next, what is the next step in holozoic nutrition? It is assimilation. Now where are the nutrients now? Nutrients are in blood. Blood will take these nutrients to every cell of the body, and inside the cell utilization, usage takes place. Means our cells may use it for energy production or for any biosynthesis, right? So the utilization of nutrients inside the cells is assimilation. Next, the last process is step is egestion. What is egestion? Expulsion of undigested waste from the body is egestion. So students, now after absorption of nutrients into blood, the undigested food from ileum and jejunum enters into cecum, this region. Then it goes through colon, then to rectum, then finally comes out through anus. So while moving through this region, the extra water present is absorbed into body so that water loss is prevented. Finally, the undigested food that reach the rectum is in the form of a solid mass. That solid mass is expelled out through anus. This process is called as egestion. So we have finished holozoic nutrition in human beings. That's it, children. Thank you.